And talk about talent. I mean, an accomplished actor, television, movies,
He's
and
also,
then
of course,
there's this.
rock star with a #1 hit and 4 top 10 hits, as I said, more than just this one song. He's still playing before packed houses today.
Really? Wow.
You did something with Dave Grohl, right? Was
Yeah.
Oh, that was this.
Right, yeah.
That was on the
Oh, that
recording
is
studio.
awesome.
Yeah, that was. Oh, anyway.
So in addition to this,
Yes, he is. What an amazing author. Now, let's go ahead and just come on back. There it is. Rick Springfield, Magnificent Vibration, second book, but first novel. Big difference between writing fiction and
and
nonfiction.
very significantly, he was on the New York Times bestsellers list for both fiction and nonfiction because of his first book, was basically
Your autobiography, right?
Not a lot of authors can say
There's
that.
the man.
Here he is.
Right there.
Mr.
Well,
Springfield
I wrote
himself.
my own autobiography, which isn't usually done with celebs, and they like my writing style, so they suggest I write fiction. But I was writing fiction before songs took over. As a kid, I was writing things about monsters because I wasn't into girls at 11 years old. So a lot of monster stories. But I always wanted to. I thought I'd be a writer until music took over.
Well, is this something that you had sort of in development for years and years and years
No.
in your head, and then you finally put it down to paper?
No, it just comes out of like songs. I just start and see where it goes. Basically, I mean, I'd love to have a conversation with God. The book starts out with
It
a
starts
conversation.
I love the
And
conversation
it's,
with
and
God.
it's not
Hilarious.
like an existential conversation. It's a cell phone conversation.
Right, yes. It's not,
You know.
there's
And
not very
irreverent,
much
to say the-
existential in the
say the
book. It's all
least.
pretty much hardcore, full on.
It's right there. Tell me about that. Why a conversation with God?
Well, I'd love to have one. I think if anyone would ask me, what would you really like? I said, I'd like to talk to God right now and see what the hell's going on. And I have a lot of questions, and I just started from that point of if this guy had a phone number, and it really was God, which he doesn't believe it at first, but it's proven that it is.
Right.
And God actually happened to have this attitude and be very upset the
You're
way
going
we're
to have to
handling our
explain, though,
planet.
that attitude. It's quite irreverent. God makes some modern references and, kind of challenges you quite a bit before you
Well,
finally...
I think 'cause
I'm saying, like you're the main character.
you know,
the main
I mean,
character.
yes, the character. It's definitely not me, but there are elements of me in every character in the book.
Well, there's 3 main characters in the book, and how do they? And I'm only 30 pages in, so. Oh my gosh, I'm only 13 pages in. I'm slow.
It's a fast read.
So it's a
though.
fast read, yeah. But how do they get in this odyssey to save the world?
Well, they're hooked up through a book called Magnificent Vibration. That's a self-help book. That they're the only ones who find a copy of it, and they can't believe that, they have it. And they're kind of guided. They don't know quite how they're being guided, but there's a link somewhere. And they all these very disparate characters. There's a nun on a quest for having an issue of faith, so she's taking a break, and he finds her in a bar. And the other guy's a 6 foot, 300-pound Hispanic guy that whose dad was a famous surgeon, and he's a groundskeeper at Fairfax High, and they all hook up and go to the ends of the world for a little carnal salvation and maybe to save the earth.
Is he the one with the unlikely name of Lexington Vargas?
Lexington Vargas, yes.
How'd you
Lexington
come up
Vargas.
with that one?
I don't know.
It's like O'Brien Steins. Yeah.
They present most of them present their names to me. I don't think too hard about it.
Did you have a lot of religious training? Because
Yeah.
you kind of touch on Mormonism and
I have some very firm views on religious.
Firm.
What's that?
You have firm views.
Yeah, but also, I mean, I think I understand the place for religious dogma, and I was raised very, very serious. This is the way it is, and we're it, and and if you screw up, God will punish you, and if you do something wonderful happens, you should get down on your knees and thank Him. And it was really hard for me once I started to believe that there was only this was what God was, and so I went searching for God, and there's elements of what I found in there, and elements of I believe God has to have a freaking sense of humor at some point and so this God has quite a sense of humor, and it's not my complete view of God, but it is a view of God within the context of the novel.
But you're a theist.
What?
You're a theist.
Well, I went through atheism. I went through Buddhism. I've gone through a lot of things to try and find where God is in my life, and I'm a big believer that there is a great spirit, a greater spirit than just us sitting here discussing stuff, and that there's something that goes through all of us, and it's what enables us to go further than we think we can go. It's all the great ones, Albert Einstein and all the great people have acknowledged that there's something more because it couldn't be just them.
When you started writing this book, did you already know where the sequel would go?
No, I had no idea where that would go. I just started. It's like a song. I write it like I write songs. I start out with a line, and I have no idea where it's going to go. And sometimes, in a song, I'll change the title because it's starting to go someplace completely different. And that was how it was with this. And I get excited when I write because I want to know what's going on. I don't have it planned, and I know a lot of writers say you should have an arc, but my joy in it is the discovery and going along, with the story.
So which is greater joy for you, writing lyrics, songs, or writing fiction?
Oh, it's whatever I'm working on. If I feel like it's going well, if I don't feel like it's going well, I'm miserable. But if I feel like it's going well, I'm ecstatic and can't wait to get back to it.
You told Susan before we went on the air that this only took you 4 months to write. Mm-hmm. 4 months.
So is that like
not a lot of failure there?
Writing? Yeah,
well, I'm on the road a lot, and and I'm on vacation. I say in there, and the acknowledgments that I thank my wife for not freaking out that on our vacation to Australia I was sitting on my sitting working on my laptop rather than doing stuff, because I'm on the plane a lot. I'm in hotels a lot. I get in cars a lot, so I write then.
What do you write on? You write on like a phone or a laptop?
No, laptop. Yeah. Thank God for computers. I mean, that's really what enabled me to write, because
Here, I want to touch on a couple things before we let him go. I mean, one, you've got a concert tour coming up. Aren't you starting the 20th? Is that right?
Yes, with Pat Benatar and Neil Giraldo. We're going out. Neil played on the original recording of Jesse's Girl, and he played guitar in it. And I've known him since then. So it's taken like 30 years to really kind of get this together.
Oh, you perform? Have you performed with him since then? Or
no, we have. This is the first time. This is the first tour I've done with Pat and Neil.
Oh my gosh! All right, how many dates?
Great.
I know Newport Beach. We know first, but then.
Well, that's not them. That's just me. I think the Newport Beach one.
Oh, okay.
But,
okay.
It's on the website rickspringfield.com, and I'm sure it's on their site too, which is probably petbenatar.com.
Something like that. And also you're signing the books as well. Right?
Yeah. We're doing a book tour. And
your book. He's going to sign your book.
You got a book signed yesterday. I want this. I really want this one.
Well, if you want your book signed by Rick, you can go to the Laguna Beach Bookstore Friday from 1 to 3.
Yes.
1200 South Coast Highway in Laguna Beach.
Come on, guys, in Laguna. This is great. You guys have to pick this book up. I mean, it just hooks you right away with this conversation.
Just the conversation with God on page 1.
And then the Hyatt, Hyatt Back Bay Amphitheater is where Rick's going to be playing in Newport Beach at the Hyatt Regency. And is Hyatt sponsoring the tour or just that one?
No. This is not the tour with Pat. This is Pat and Neil. This is just one of my solo shows. Yeah.
And do you do that acoustic?
No. It's electric band. It's going to be a little softer than normal because I think they have neighbors. I think it's kind of like having your mom say, "Turn that down, Richard."
All right, doors open at 6, we're told.
Yeah.
And Rick goes on a bit closer to 8 o'clock, so I guess you can get there and enjoy the view and enjoy the atmosphere and environment.
Rick Springfield, Magnificent Vibration.
The title alone.
The title alone should make you want to get this book.
It's intriguing, to say the least.
Rick, thank you so much.
Thank you
for being here.